G'day Bodgies and Widgies, and welcome back to the channel. It has been quite some time since I gave you my last update on the 40cm cube saltwater aquarium behind me. And so many things have changed since the last time you saw this aquarium, so I thought what better way than to bring you fully up to speed by giving you an update video on this tank. I'll talk you through the equipment, the coral and the fish that run this system, and if you did have any further questions you can always let me know in the comment section down below and I'll expand upon it there if I did miss anything in this video. But before getting to it, as always, let's acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and the people that are managing our land as well. But I say enough talking and it's time we have a look at this little saltwater aquarium. So I'll firstly start off by talking about the fish that are in this aquarium. And for the entire system I only have 3 fish, which includes a pair of clownfish and a single royal grama basslet. I'll tell you a little bit of a story about the clownfish that recently happened. So I actually used to have a pair of Picasso clownfish, and the Picasso is the fancier one that you can see in the tank. It's also the smaller one and it's a male. I used to have a female for this clownfish, but she ended up passing away for absolutely no reason at all. There wasn't any external injuries, there wouldn't have really been any chance for any internal parasites, wasn't really any aggression in the tank, but she sort of withered away in about a day and she ended up passing away. And after that, I was a little bit down. I was in search for a replacement Picasso, but usually these are clownfish that are sold in pairs, so I wasn't really having the best of luck trying to just find a single Picasso. And around about that time, I noticed that there was a larger female Pacula in search of a new home. She was being given away for free, and I thought, you know what, let me just get a clownfish into the aquarium, and that's where I ended up getting her. Coincidentally, she ended up arriving on my birthday. She was delivered to me or just dropped off at my home by a fellow reefer, so thank you so much for rehoming her to me, and now she's enjoying this aquarium. She paired up really well with the Picasso clown in here, because clownfish, when you introduce a new one into the system, can have a bit of a feud, but she took to the elegance that my Picasso hosts really well, and they both paired up really well as well. So it may have just been because of the size difference, I'm not really too sure why, but they played along quite well, and it's been going pretty smooth so far. We then move on to the royal grama, and that is my dream saltwater aquarium fish. I don't know what it is with the grama that just got me so attracted towards it, but just the colors, the purple and the yellow, the way that these fish move, the way they act, and the sort of rambunctiousness and the attitude that they carry towards them is something that I absolutely adore. I also used to have a yellow assessor basslet in this aquarium. I've still got the little dude, but he's next door in my saltwater frag aquarium, and that's purely because my royal grama and I believe the basslet got into a little bit of a feud. One morning I woke up to notice that a little bit of the tail fin on the yellow assessor was missing, so I thought, let me not take a risk, because that is a $60 fish. No matter what the price is, I still value its life a lot. So I'm going to take it out, move it into my frag tank, let it recover, and I'll maybe see if I want to reintroduce it. But I'm mostly on the boat of potentially just adding a different species of fish into this aquarium. I'd like to bring the fish population up to about 5 different fish. Currently there's 3, so I've got a little bit of room to add 2 more fish, and the aquarium can totally handle the bio load. So I'm thinking potentially to add a wrasse species, but I'm not really too sure on that just yet. So if you do have any recommendations, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. So moving on to the corals, I have taken a huge focus on zoanthid in this system. I've actually gone as far as adding over 20 types of zoas in this aquarium, littered all throughout the tank on the sand, on a little bit of the rock, and then also a dedicated zoa garden. And these zoas include Sakura Sunrise, Strawberry Wine, Art of Chaos, Tutti Frutti, Candy Crush. That's just to go ahead and name a few. I've actually got about 40 different types of zoas split between this and the frag tank behind me. But yeah, the addiction is absolutely real. A lot of these zoas actually come from Exotic Aquaculture Online, and they've got an absolutely huge catalogue of zoas at a very affordable price as well. I did purchase all the zoas in this aquarium, so this isn't sponsored in any way, shape or form. I just wanted to go ahead and share the appreciation that I have. And some of the zoas also did come from Deer Park Aquarium, but those ones actually physically went into the store and they just caught my eye and I had to come home with them. They picked me, I didn't pick them, so that's how I justify it. I also did want to give a huge shout out to Anya from Gallery Aquatica TV for getting me down this rabbit hole of zoas. She didn't do anything, she just shared her passion of zoas to me, and I then wanted to experience a little bit of that, and it quickly spiraled into the addiction that it is now. But I absolutely love every single bit of it, and it's just one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy about this hobby, seeing how you can just share your passion with others and how it affects them and allows them to grow in ways that they wouldn't have even expected. Because I'll admit, when I first entered the hobby, I really did despise zoanthids. I thought they were quite overrated, they all looked the same, but now that view has totally changed. I love them so much for the different colors, the way they grow, the polyp shapes and the sizes and everything like that. It's just been an absolute joyride. But let me talk about some of the other corals in this aquarium, because I will talk about zoas all day. Now, just before I move on, I quickly wanted to mention, if you are enjoying the video so far, I would really appreciate if you could just give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the overall growth of the video, and if you did want to consider subscribing, that's something that you can do. However, I would say definitely watch a few of my other videos before you wanted to subscribe. I'd much rather appreciate if you subscribed and continue watching than subscribe and just forget about the channel, but I'll leave that up to you. You know what you're doing, so that's essentially it, but we'll continue on. Now, after dealing with LPS flatworms in the aquarium, especially on my Fimbrophilia, I was pretty down because I lost more than half of the hammers in this aquarium, and the tank just looked a bit bare. I really didn't want to work on it all that much, but I thought, I need to get on top of the flatworm issue, so I did actually go ahead and dose the Saltwater flatworm exit, which is an absolute magical liquid that I put into the aquarium. All it took was 6 drops and it destroyed the flatworm population. I did do a repeat dosage a few days afterwards just to be extra cautious, but it really did get on top of everything. All my hammers now are looking happy and healthy. The elegance coral wasn't really affected that much, but it's also opened up a lot more, and my clownfish are actually hosting it, which I mentioned before as well. It's an absolute showstopper, and I have also added a few more cool LPS and soft corals into the system. The first one I quite like is a Wilsoni coral, and I've always been a big fan of these for quite some time. Now, the Wilsoni that I have isn't all that flashy, it's mostly a mix of browns. However, the mouth area has a mix of blue, red, and greens, and it looks quite rainbow and very, very nice. I also did add one of my total dream corals into this aquarium, and that is a long polyp leather. Whilst this isn't a true weeping willow that was popularized by the late Jake Adams, an absolute reefing legend and a person that I was grateful to have met at least once in my life in person, it is a very close copy of that coral, and it is an Aussie long polyp leather. Now, this one is actually an aquacultured frag, meaning that it wasn't harvested from the wild, and that was through the amazing work of Sustainable Reefs. I got to meet Shane Danger Coleman when he came down to Melbourne for the pet show, where he was showing off the work that Sustainable Reefs does, and also was selling some of the corals, and that's where I saw the long polyp leather. Now, at the time that I did see it, the polyps weren't actually extended all that much. They were just little tiny nubs, but I thought, you know what, it'll still look cool. I want to add a leather into this aquarium anyways, so I picked it up, brought it home. A day later, I come into the tank and I see this absolute just monster flowing around with all of its tentacles at least the same length, if not longer than the coral itself, and I knew that I had made an absolutely perfect decision. It's probably my most favorite coral in the aquarium at the moment. It's competing with the elegance, but it's just such a stunning piece, and whilst it doesn't have the most rainbow bright colors, just the way that it moves is something that you hardly ever see in the aquarium hobby, and it's something that I very, very much enjoy. Now, when I first noticed the LPS flatworm problem, there was some of my more prized corals that I took out of the aquarium into the frag system, and that includes my green glittergony and my red glittergoniopora that was gifted to me by the awesome Nick from Nick's Aquarium, Oceanarium and Terrarium up in Queensland. Now, those corals have been doing really well in my frag system. The green glitter still has a little bit of recovering to do, but the red is probably ready to be added back into this aquarium, and I'll probably do that over the next 1 or 2 weeks. I just really, really want to be extra cautious to make sure I'm not dealing with any problems going forward, because the tank has been smooth sailing so far except for that one problem. I really don't want to stuff things up again by potentially cross-contaminating something, so I'm really just taking my time, but all the corals are just really doing a-okay. So in regards to equipment, there have been two very major changes, and they were both very much needed changes to the aquarium. The first of which was a lighting upgrade. I used to have a Dymax SpaceX Mini, but that killed itself after just 1 year of use, so I upgraded to the Delua Illumagic Blaze X Mini, and it is an absolute powerhouse of a light for an aquarium of this size, and it is just doing such a good job at just illuminating everything. And I really love the spectrum that it has as well, that sort of cooler blue, and I can really control how much intensity that I want, and I've got it set to my own custom specification, which I'm pretty sure is public. You can actually see it on the Delua ecosystem app, so if you wanted to replicate that in your aquarium for whatever reason, you can do that as well. And I also did add another product by Delua, and that is the Great White Wave Maker. I really did want to just boost the flow in this aquarium, and a wave maker was probably going to be the best route instead of adding another chunky filter like the Seachem Tidal 75. So the wave maker is just doing a fantastic job at just really churning over the water in this aquarium, and that flow is very much required, and it's doing a really awesome job just for the health of this system. Alrighty, Bodgies and Widgies, I really hope you did go ahead and enjoy that update video of the 40cm cube saltwater aquarium. If there was anything further that you wanted me to go ahead and answer, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to go ahead and do that for you. This wasn't as in-depth as I potentially would have liked to have gone. I was fully planning out a half-an-hour video just to really go over each and every single bit of equipment, fish, and just talk about all of that in the aquarium. However, if that's something that you wanted to go ahead and see potentially in a live stream or a video, make sure you let me know as well. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay Aussie Australian, Bodgie out.